Is there anything more delicious and comforting than meatballs? I can think of only one thing, meatballs with fresh mozzarella. This recipe is super delicious and easy, and it starts, of course, with the meat. I'm using a pound of ground pork and a pound of 85% lean ground beef. That's the chuck beef. To that, a cup of coarsely ground fresh breadcrumbs, 2 large eggs. You don't even have to whisk the eggs first. That's how easy this recipe really is. And then cheese please. This is half a cup of finely ground Pecorino Romano. If you already have Parmesan in your fridge, use that, it's perfectly fine. And for aromatics, 1 clove of garlic, smash it with the side of your knife first to make it easier, and then finely mince. Okay, that can go in, and the parsley. You'll want about a 1/4 cup in here. Into the bowl it goes. 1½ teaspoons here of coarse salt, and gently folding everything together. A key here is to not overwork the meat as you're combining it, and you just want to look to see that the breadcrumbs and the parsley and the cheese are all evenly distributed, and of course that the eggs have broken down. Those are your binder, so they're important here. This is looking terrific. Put these onto a little tray lined with parchment, and have a little bowl of water. The water's helpful to keep the meat from sticking to your hand, so just give a dip, get the palms nice and wet, and then sort of cup your one hand and kind of work it this way. And what this does is it gives you that meatball shape, but you're not actually pressing the meat at all or smashing it together. And this is going to give you a really light, airy, fluffy meatball with a nice, crusty exterior from the searing. And look, you have a beautiful little meatball just like that. And you can feel that it's nice and light. Just carry on in this manner until they're all made. Okay, I'm going to wash up a bit here, and then we're ready to start cooking. I have a pan preheating over medium-high heat. Anytime you're searing, no matter what it is, the key is to preheat the pan. Otherwise, you're not going to get that good crust, and it might stick also. This gets 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Just wait for the oil to shimmer in the pan. That will just take a few seconds if the pan is nice and hot. And these go right in. You should hear a good sizzle when it goes down. If the pan's crowded, the meat will steam rather than sear. So it looks like I have room here to get all of these in. Now these will need about 10 minutes to brown. Let them hang out in the pan undisturbed for at least 2 to 3 minutes, and then you can sort of start turning them and checking for that nice dark brown crust. I think it's time to take a peek at one of these meatballs. Yes, that's gorgeous. See that nice color there? Tells me we're ready to start flipping these guys. These will probably need to be turned 2 or 3 times to get nice browning all over. Lift these out gently. Because everything happens in this one pot, there's very little cleanup, and we're just building flavor upon flavor in here. Next up, right into the pot goes half of a finely chopped small onion, and stir it around. That's going to help pick up all of those brown bits at the bottom of this pan. To these onions, a pinch of red pepper flakes. I love these things. It gives a gentle heat. Next up is a can of whole peeled plum tomatoes in juice. Those go right in. Just put them in a blender and puree them and stir that about to incorporate the onions and reduce for a few minutes, just until it's thickened slightly. And then whole basil leaves in here. Just stir those in. Those meatballs go back in now. These have been simmering for about 10 minutes. Just give them one turn and let them simmer on the other side for about 10 minutes, and they'll be cooked through. As these cook, they're soaking up that wonderful tomato sauce and taking on even more flavor. Now the piece de resistance, the mozzarella. Evenly distribute your thin slices of mozzarella right over the top, and it melts wonderfully under the broiler to finish this off. Only needs 2 to 3 minutes under there, just until it's melted and bubbly and golden brown in a few places. When this meatball casserole comes out of the oven, there'll be no reason to ring a dinner bell. Everyone's going to be at the table, ready to eat. Happy eating.